Hey everyone from Upright Health, this is my FAI Fix progress report for day 2 in the evening. It's the 14th of October 2015. As you can see, been hard at work. So I made a few notes and I've done a set of tissue work. I'm going to do some stretching and then activation, but a couple of points that are of interest. First is pain in my right groin when I bend sideways. So I'll show you what I mean. So standing so, it's more intense if my feet are wider, but let's say feet shoulder width. If I bend, actually, well, I've just been doing a whole lot of tissue work, so it's actually improved, which is encouraging. But let's say I get my feet a little wider, right? So we've got maybe 1.5 times the width of my shoulders, not exactly 90 degrees, but if I bend like this, I get some discomfort in my groin, and I also feel some pressure here, which is the problem area. This is where the FAI diagnosis is. So just on the I guess this would be around the glute medius, maybe TFL. TFL's here, glute medius. So around the glute medius there's some tension when in response to this bend. By contrast, when I bend here I can feel the pull through the groin, but there isn't the same response, there isn't the same pressure that I feel in the glute medius. So on this side, yeah, it's a nice stretch. On this side, there's a little bit here, and it gets more intense when I do a deep wide squat, which I'll show you shortly. Next note, as I've been saying, is that the left glute doesn't seem to fire when I walk. So when I take a stride, with my right foot, the glutes here aren't really working. What's contracting is here and in the hamstrings, so around the hip flexor and in the hamstring, not in the glute. By contrast, if I step forward with the left, then the glutes fire really nicely and it feels like a smooth step. Now I've just done a whole lot of work on the hip flexors, I haven't gone walking, so we'll see, and I'll see when I walk to work tomorrow. I hope that it'll be better. But it's that's been the issue so far. These were the notes I wrote before I started my tissue work session. Okay, really key thing for me is squatting, because I want to get deep, wide squats. Where my dream is to get to side splits, and the squats are the way there. So whatever's holding me back from the squats is a really high priority, and of course for general hip health. So I'll show you what I mean. I followed the method of a guy called Thomas Kurtz, and he basically says you start with a wide squat and you get really deep, and then you take a wider and then you get really deep. Really deep being you get your pelvis below your knees. You go even wider until you double the width of your shoulders, and then you get really deep and you go all the way down to the floor, and then you stretch it out into splits. Basically that's a process that takes weeks or months. Who knows, even years, depending on the person. So I'll show you what I mean. You got feet together, the toes pointing in. I don't know if you can't see it on footage, but toes pointing in, that's 1. Actually, I'll go back a bit. In feet. Sorry about the mess. Okay, so 1, 2. That's 2. When you turn your feet in, that's 3. So you've got the feet just a little bit wider, maybe shoulder width, maybe just a little bit wider than shoulder width, but this is 3. At 3, you go down. So as you can see, nice and low, feeling pretty good. 4, now, I seem to have developed something of a fear response once I go beyond this point. So for a while I was getting to 4, it's dropping down nicely. Now there's a kind of fear response that's built up, because this area has been inflamed, the outer hip, the right groin, but I'll show you what I mean. So 4, down. Now, as soon as I go down here, I feel a lot of pressure just here, just where my pocket is, just over here. Now what I notice is if I really press in hard, that seems to relieve the pressure and make it a bit easier for me to go down. So I guess it's on the quads, maybe it's hip flexor, but I'll push down here and I'll go down again, and there's a lot less pressure. Take it off, I feel the pressure really build up, count to 5. And it's not bad, but I can feel it in the hip. And if I add weight to it, then the discomfort increases, and that's what's holding me back. So it's on this point of the hip here. I'm not going to take my pants off or anything, but just so you get the idea. So here's the bony point of the hip, and it's just around here that it gets, I develop a dull ache when I get into that position. Left side's fine. Right side, I immediately feel it. The deeper I go, and if I hold on to a kettlebell, I feel the pressure here. Now, that pressure is somewhat ameliorated by keeping the knees out, not letting the knees collapse in. So I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So keep the knees pushing out. That's fine. But it's still there. The tissue work seems to be helping, and maybe I need to focus a bit more there. Maybe I need to do some stretching, but that's one of the major signs, one of the major obstacles, and until I can fix that, I can't really progress with my flexibility work. And one of the other major issues, and quite linked to it, was in standing, certain kinds of rotation. So rotating on my right foot was causing me quite sharp, mild but sharp pain in the groin and outer hip area. It's always the groin and always this area on the outer hip. So that kind of rotation, that was causing me a lot of grief. It's significantly better now, and that's an encouraging sign. So maybe I just need to keep on doing this work, and the discomfort I feel when I go into a deep wide squat will work itself out. It's I mean, I'm not doing it with weight, so it's a bit hard to say. It's better, it's just not solved, and as long as it's still there, I'm, basically I can't progress. That's about it. And then with the tissue work, I found certain things were pretty strong. Left quads, first time that I really worked thoroughly on the left quads, and there were some real zingers. The psoas didn't seem to do much for me on the left side, but the iliacus, there was one spot that really, shall we say, took my breath away. I had to basically lie down and take a break because it was so intense, but it feels a lot better. And on the right, the TFL, I think there was about halfway down the TFL, there was a really strong knot, and that's about it. So encouraging signs. The issues that were most concerning me seem to be getting better, but there's still a lot of work to go. So now I'm going to do some stretching, left quads, right quads, left hip flexor, probably right hip flexors as well. Left glutes, going to do a bit of stretching there. The right TFL, right quads especially, that's quite major. And then just to finish off, I'll do a quick set of activation. The side lying leg raises are super, but for me the real test, it comes with the fire hydrant and the donkey kick. Because I've tried the donkey kick before, and I've got absolutely no activation. So any activation on the donkey kick on either side, but especially on the left side, means that there's real progress. So if you've watched all the way through, thank you very much for your patience. And thanks so much to the guys from the FAI Fix team and community. So pain sucks, but life shouldn't.